Hi Team Value, JJ here. Welcome back. Well, today I'm going to respond to some news out today that Apple and Google may be working together on AI to embed Google's AI Gemini inside iPhones. Is there any validity to this report? What's going on here? Are they negotiating for this? Let's see what's happening. I'm going to respond to it. I find it hard to believe, but let's take a look at the news and I'll give my thoughts on it.
So this is really an AI plot twist, validation for Google, and more doubts around Apple's strategy. Their stock movements over the last month, they really do tell this story. Alphabet shares, they fell on that botched rollout of Gemini in late Feb. They've continued to lag broader markets. Microsoft, despite some concerns around Copilot, it's continued to be seen as the lead. A deal to license AI features on the iPhone, it would be a strong rebuke to the bears who worried that Google's Gemini was falling short of competition and that it would have trouble monetizing its AI. That current distribution deal with Apple that we talk about often, that has helped cement Google's dominance in search. Another AI deal that could give Google a boost in the early innings here. Now, going back to that chart, Apple, you'll see, is the yellow line, remains at the bottom because it's still seen as last among mega caps in this AI race. And this report doesn't help that perception. Apple, of course, it's rarely the first mover, preferring to perfect a product before releasing it. But anticipation has also been building that Tim Cook and co. would announce something big on the AI front at WWDC in June. That's its big developer conference. Of course, guys, only a report for now. Apple could still quietly be building up that AI strategy behind the scenes. We don't have other details like how it would be branded and even who would be paying who. Does Apple need Google more, or is it the other way around?
Okay, there's a lot to respond to there. It strikes me as quite a bit of speculation here. There's jockeying for positions with AI and speculation from the media about this. Let's say this is good information and that they are in talks to work together. There are a lot of questions that come up, especially in terms of, antitrust. Google and Apple have been working together with Google Search on iPhone for ages. There have been questions about that, whether they'd be forced to take that out at some point. And now we have AI. Imagine if these two giants team up with AI. I'm kind of skeptical about this. I know there's been a lot of talk today, just as the news broke, a lot of YouTube videos. I see my fellow finance YouTubers talking about it and podcasts talking about it as if it's definitely happening. It's hard to see how this would actually happen in reality. These two Mag 7 giants teaming up this closely. And then, is Apple working on their own AI in the background? It would be pretty disappointing if they weren't and they were to use Gemini, Google's AI. And with the stocks, we can see what happened with the stocks today. We'll just look at that now because it's relevant. Apple was up 0.64% today and Google was up 4.6%. So Google definitely the beneficiary here by far, or the perception of the market. And I think that's probably right. I mean, she said there that, who's going to pay who in this kind of arrangement, which company would benefit. And again, it's just speculation. It hasn't happened yet. People are talking like it's already happened. I mean, if Apple's working in the background on their AI, what I'd like to see is Siri being really good and really useful AI that would be really beneficial from a user point of view, and they wouldn't have to use Google. I think there'd be definitely antitrust questions here if this happened, with these two giants teaming up together. Who are they going against? Microsoft. Of course, Microsoft has got this relationship, this partnership with OpenAI. Elon Musk talked about this, that it's basically owned by Microsoft at this point, or in large part. It's not OpenAI, it's closed AI. So do we have Microsoft in one corner and Google and Apple together in the other corner on the other side? Is it going to have to be that? These giants slugging it out over time. And you've got Meta with AI as well. A lot of water to go under the bridge. And I don't see this really happening in reality. And if it did happen, I think there'd be some big questions asked. I don't see Apple being comfortable with Google, having Google so integrated into their phone. Don't forget there's Android operating system, and so that's going to be Gemini 2. We're going to have a complete monopoly of Google, on iPhones and Android phones with their AI. For now, the stock prices have jumped on the news, Google being the beneficiary. She mentioned there how they've had some hiccups. They've had some big hiccups. I won't go into that, but it wasn't that long ago, just a couple of weeks ago, where this Gemini rolled out and there have been definitely problems with that. I've been using the advanced version of Gemini and it's okay, but there's still a lot that's wrong with it. It gets things wrong. There's a lot you still can't ask it, and it, does make mistakes and things. So it's just okay. I just can't see Apple being comfortable with this kind of arrangement. I could see them building their own AI in the background. I don't see how they wouldn't do that. They've got so much money to spend on this kind of thing, and they just dropped the Apple car, the electric car. How much did they spend on that? It was something like $10 billion or more. They've got to be working on AI, and the capabilities they have in-house to do that. You'd think they'd want to go out with their own AI if they can possibly do that. And I mean, they're one of the biggest companies in the world, and a tech leader. If they can't get it together with AI, then I think there's something wrong. And so we'll have to see what happens. But those are my thoughts at the moment on this. I think this has got a long way to run, and it's just one news day, one item, and I am skeptical about whether it could happen, but it's interesting and fun to talk through. Now, you may not know, but only a very small percentage of people actually hit the like button, even if they like videos on YouTube. So please remember to do that to help the algorithm to spread it to more people. It really does help. Let's go briefly into a CNBC article here associated with that item to see if we can glean any more information from what they said on there. It says, according to a Bloomberg report, this was a Bloomberg article to begin with, citing people familiar with the matter, Bloomberg said 2 tech giants are in active negotiations, which doesn't mean it's going to happen, negotiations for Gemini to power certain new features due to be released to the iPhone software later this year. So Apple's definitely under pressure to come out with something amazing on the AI front. Has been pretty terrible. I've had Siri for many years, and it hasn't been very good. I personally don't use it very often. Apple's next big iPhone is iOS 18 is expected during its worldwide developer conference. That's when the company may talk more about its plans for generative artificial intelligence. Apple CEO Tim Cook said the company is investing significantly in AI during the company's annual shareholder meeting. I bet they are investing significantly. They're being very secretive. They like to perfect things before they bring them out. Going back to Steve Jobs, he was very secretive about what they were doing, and then they come out with something amazing. Can they do this with AI under Tim Cook? Later this year, I look forward to sharing with you the ways we will break new ground in generative AI, another technology we believe can redefine the future. But if they're in talks to work with Google, do they really have something in the background? If this information is indeed true, they wouldn't have even been talking to Google about embedding things in their iPhone, using their services if they did have something great. So I'm just not sure what to believe at this point. The company also recently held discussions with OpenAI and has considered using its model, according to sources cited by Bloomberg. So this doesn't scream something that they're building that's incredible in the background, really, if they're talking to both of these. And don't forget that OpenAI is in partnership with Microsoft. So there's got to be antitrust questions here if any of these companies, hook up together for AI, surely. However, the report said the two parties haven't decided the terms or branding of the AI agreement or finalized how it would be implemented. There would be a lot to be worked out here, but even if they're talking, that's really something. I'd be pretty amazed if this did actually, come to fruition if Google worked with Apple. I mean, they already are. But there were questions about that, having search, and they pay a lot for that. So who would benefit? Are they even talking seriously? What I'd like to see is Apple come out with a competitor that's amazing on the AI front, and it works with Siri and it works on the iPhone. That would be a massive leap, and it would be a feather in Tim Cook's cap, not to just be an operator of Apple, an expert operator, business operator, but coming up with something truly innovative. What do you think? Do you think this is going to be true, that Apple will work with anybody else? I can only see it happened if they really had to do that. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Now, this channel's growing, but it's not so big that I can't reply to every comment, every sensible comment. So let me know what you think, and I will reply to it. And Spotify's got a question that you can answer too, by the way. If you're listening on Spotify or watching on Spotify, you can answer a question there. So do that too if you want to. Now, if you're a regular to the pod, do consider joining the Art of Value Patreon. Over there, I post content and videos that I don't post anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description if you want to check that out. Now, if you're watching this video on YouTube, I'm going to put a link here to the video that YouTube thinks that you in particular should watch next. So go and see that now if you want to. And I'll put some related links in the description for everybody else. Thanks to everybody for watching or listening wherever you're doing that, and I'll see you in the next one.